Welcome back to the shop. The workbench is completely out of hand. I mentioned in the other video that I bought another pickup truck and I've been working on it and it's been coming along nicely and it's largely done, but you know, the fallout from that is that we've got shit everywhere. So I'm going to clean this up and I'm going to come back and I'm going to show you some tools that I bought at the local flea market. It's actually not so local, it's about an hour north of here. And it's usually got some pretty good tools. I didn't get that good of a haul. I usually come back with a lot, but anyway, I got a couple neat sets of pliers and cutters and stuff. So anyway, let me clean this up and I'll bring you back. Alright, that's a little bit better. So today's haul from the flea market is sort of interesting. I've got sort of a menagerie of tools. There's probably 3 or 4 vendors that are tool guys, and then there's the odd lots that you find and people that don't necessarily traffic in tools. And the tools that I got today, by and large, were from people that didn't know what tools were worth. The guys that had buckets of tools, you know, they wanted just what I thought were astronomical prices. They wanted $10 and $15 for a set of lineman pliers and things like that. You know, I don't think that's out of the realm of being. Maybe for what I do, I think I'm looking for deals. So I'm not the person they're marketing that for. They're good tools, they're quality tools and stuff, but you know, I'm just not there to spend big money on this stuff. So I was looking to nickel and dime people, to be honest with you. So anyway, I worked my way around the flea market, and I got some cool pliers today. I got these are the Crowder pliers. It looks like 1550-5. These end nippers. These are super handy little pliers, and you know, I can't turn up anything with the ornate handles on them. Those always clean up really nicely. These I can't quite make them out, but these are these sort of flat duck build, and I'm a real big fan of these, and you know, I just think that they're handy for bending wires and things like that. I've got a lot of needle nose, but by and large, the duck bill seem to serve sort of fill a niche in my shop that I really like. So anyway, that's neat. I don't know the brand on these yet. They are stamped. They feel well made. They're nice and tight, but I'll have to get into these, do a wire wheel, and then I'll know what they are. A set of scissors, but these scissors have this bias on there, and I think that's sort of interesting. I've got quite a few pairs of scissors here, and some pretty decent scissors too. And I don't know a lot about them, but I think I'm gonna. They're made in Germany, so they feel nice. So we'll clean these up, and I think it might be interesting to paint the handles on these. I'm not sure how it's gonna work out yet, but that'll be a fun one. You've heard me rail against vice grips. Maybe it's unwarranted, the amount of criticism I give them, but anyway, I got these for $1 or $1.50 or something like that. And for welding, clamping things together, by and large, I use these things to like hold garbage bags onto the workbench or something while I'm cleaning. But these, I don't know if I'll make a video cleaning these up, but we'll see. Let's see what else I got yet. This is a Swedish crescent wrench, and the Bahco. It's got AB, BA. Well, let me just show you the Bahco company. These are pretty neat, and you know, Scoutcrafter talked about the profile on wrenches and what feels good. These are quite thin, and doesn't quite have the best hand feel in terms of what you would expect for a decent set of pliers. And I think the interesting. Sorry. So the profile on these are quite thin, and that typically doesn't have a very good hand feel because the older wrenches have the real broad profile. And, you know, these aren't going to cut in your hands or anything. This is an awkward wrench, but you can just see the difference in those. It's a huge difference. And then your modern day pliers get a little bit thicker, and this is not a whole lot thicker, but feels a little bit better. And these are just regular old Crescent modern day stuff. But the newer tools even are so anemic they add rubber to bolster it up, and that's just the way to, I guess, cut costs. Rubber must be cheaper than the steel. So anyway, that was a good Scout Crafter episode. If you haven't seen that, I think that was a crescent wrench that I did the other day. But anyway, I'm sorry, I forget exactly what it is. But this is cool because it's got sort of a pry bar at the end of this, and it's not real heavy duty. It'd be good for maybe not even pallets or opening paint cans or something like that. But anyway, that's pretty interesting. I don't have anything at all like this in the shop, so I figured I couldn't pass that up. These are a set of Utica, like, light-duty tin snips. These just, I mean, they're super thick. They shouldn't have any give. They should work quite well. It'll be interesting to find some stuff and cut with it. I think thin sheet metal or whatever, I think they'll be handy. They're not wire cutters, I wouldn't say. I think they're more tin snip type material. And then they have this sort of crimping mechanism here in the back. I'll have to do some research and figure out what exactly these are for. It says SPAC, and I can see Utica. The rest is worn out, so these got quite a bit of hours on them. Or at least they got worn off there for some reason. But anyway, I thought these were pretty cool. And then this was really neat. This is a little tack hammer, and I think this is like a cobbler hammer. They have a bunch of different cobbler type hammers. But I was watching a station last night, and it's actually the Bloomberg channel of all things, and I think it's called Make or Made or something like that. And they went through and showed a bunch of different people that make from shoes to hats to rugs, just very, very interesting stuff. And the shoe episode, they were making shoes that cost $4,000 a pair. But anyway, the woman was in there using a hammer like this to pound the tacks in. And it doesn't seem to have a maker's mark on it yet, but I think I might go overboard on this one. I think I want to polish this up like no other, clean the face up, and then come back and dip the handle at the end and give that that embellishment. I think that'll be fun. And I'm not sure how much utility I'll have in the shop for this, but you know, every once in a while you got to do something just for fun, right? So anyway, these are gonna be fun. I think today's episode, you know, why not? Let's stick with the crescent wrench. I think this will be a fun one, and we've got to get started somewhere. So let's take this over to the sandblaster. Alright, so that's through the sandblaster. Now we're going to bring it over, and you can see that there's, well, hopefully you can see that, but there's some sort of indiscretions here on the casting lines. I think we can do a better job on that. So let me take this over to the 1x42 inch belt sander and clean this up. Alright, so that's the Bahco, the Swedish 8-inch crescent wrench. You can see I've got a little bit of a shine on there, not a Scout Crafter grade shine, but it's not too bad. Better than a stick in the eye. The rest of this has got a pretty rough finish on it, and that's really not anything that I'm concerned about, or something that I think I need to reconcile. The letters, the embossed letters, are just barely below where if I sanded this, it might start to get into that, and I don't want to knock these letters off at all. So anyway, I decided to leave it just as it were, and I think this is pretty cool. This is definitely not not a monster tool. It's not for heavy iron work. Not that I do that kind of work. But anyway, having this little pry bar on the end of it is pretty nifty. I think that, you know, I would think that this would lend itself to working on things like bicycles and such. Like, you know, a little bicycle wrench, tires, and things like that. But then, you know, that looks like a tire tool to me. I had traded another viewer some years ago for a, oh jeez. Sorry, it took me a minute, had them in the wrong drawer. You can see like a tire tool. This is a perfect handle tire tool. The shellac on this restoration isn't really hanging in there like I was hoping it would. I mean, the tool gets used, so it's a little bit beat up. But anyway, I traded a viewer of mine for this. Anyway, it was an awesome trade. Thank you, Rusty. But the profile on the end of this, you know, they're not exactly the same, but this sort of has every indication of it being the size and strength and sort of utility for changing bicycle tubes and tires and stuff like that. I bet you that's what this is for. And you know, it stands to reason of the Swedish, a very bicycle popular country. So I'm gonna do some googling and see if my hypothesis is at all close to being true, or reasonable for that matter. So anyway, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. I'm going to try to work on getting content up a little bit faster. Like I said before, I got the new pickup truck, and I'm not including any information of what I'm doing with the truck, because this is a tool channel, and if I start getting into automotive stuff, first off, I'm not a mechanic. I get by, I have tools, therefore, you know, I can do some stuff. But I would never call myself a mechanic. But I'm also cheap, so I don't like to pay people to do stuff. And by and large, I'm unhappy with the quality of stuff that you get. I'm not I wouldn't consider myself to be hypercritical of other people. But when I'm paying somebody to do something and they do a shit job, that upsets me. So I figured the best way to go about not getting upset is just to do it myself. That's sort of not necessarily a great approach to have in a lot of cases. I would consider it a flaw, but you know, it's what I do. So anyway, I've been working on the truck. It's been coming along well. Thing runs great, and anyway, maybe you'll see in the future. But right now, I'm gonna stick to the tools. I'm not sure what's gonna be next, but anyway, I'm going to work on the viewer stuff. There's some technical glitches or some stuff I need to learn before I can really do the viewer segment. And we'll get to that as soon as I feel comfortable and as soon as I feel that it's ready for public consumption. So anyway, thanks again for watching, subscribing, have a good night.